Hey everyone, welcome back to Coin Spyder, the home of hidden treasures and unbelievable coin stories. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button because today's story will blow your mind. A tiny coin, just 1 Canadian cent from 2008, has shocked collectors after selling for exactly $103.74 in a recent auction. Yes, you heard that right. One penny worth over $100. How could that even happen? Let's find out. A penny. Everyone ignored. Think about it. How many times have you seen a 1 cent coin and thought it was worthless? We tossed them in drawers, car trays, or jars without a second thought. But this time, the humble penny decided to fight back. A 2008 Canadian 1 cent coin, shiny and ordinary to the untrained eye, was listed in a small online auction. And what happened next made national news. Within hours, bids began pouring in. Collectors spotted something special. The luster, the sharp edges, the mirror-like shine, almost like it had just rolled out of the mint. By the time the auction ended, the final hammer price read $103.74. A coin that could once buy a stick of gum was now worth more than a fancy dinner. What makes this coin so special? Let's pause and talk about what made this particular coin stand out. The 2008 Canadian penny was one of the last series before the Royal Canadian Mint stopped producing 1 cent coins in 2012. That already gives it a bit of nostalgia. It's part of the farewell era of Canadian copper. But beyond nostalgia, condition is king. The sold coin was mint state, meaning it had never really circulated. Its copper-plated steel still gleamed with a perfect red finish, showing every fine detail of Queen Elizabeth II's portrait and the crisp twin maple leaves on the reverse. Collectors love coins that look frozen in time. No scratches, no dullness, just perfection. Experts who examined the auction photos said the surfaces were so clean it could grade MS 67 or higher on the Sheldon scale. That's near the top for modern coins. And when a coin hits those grades, values can jump dramatically, even for modern issues. The moment collectors realized it wasn't just any coin. At first, no one paid attention to that small online listing. It looked like any other penny, same design, same shine, same year. But then a few experienced collectors zoomed in on the high-resolution images, and what they saw changed everything. The edges looked untouched, the fields gleamed like glass, and even the faintest lines of Queen Elizabeth II's hair were perfectly visible. That's when the whispers began spreading through coin forums and social media groups. Could this be one of the cleanest 2008 pennies ever found? Within hours, screenshots were being shared. Experts started analyzing every pixel, and curiosity exploded. It was no longer just a coin. It was becoming a small legend in the making. How the buzz spread across Canada. Before long, the story had spread beyond the collector community. Regular people, students, retirees, and everyday Canadians started checking their old piggy banks and jars full of change. Some even posted photos online, hoping to match their coin's shine with the one making headlines. News pages and Facebook groups lit up with excitement. Could my penny be worth over $100 too? The viral buzz gave new life to the forgotten coin, turning a simple piece of copper-plated steel into a national conversation. It wasn't about greed, it was about discovery. People felt a rush of nostalgia and pride, realizing that a tiny piece of their country's past could still surprise the world in 2025. Where the auction happened. So where did all this excitement go down? The sale took place through the Canadian Numismatic Company, one of the nation's leading auction houses for rare currency. They've handled everything from vintage gold sovereigns to rare cent varieties, and collectors trust them for authenticity and grading transparency. Another big platform that sometimes lists Canadian cents is Heritage Auctions Canada, where bidding wars regularly turn pocket change into record breakers. This particular 2008 penny listing started quietly at just a few dollars. Then collectors noticed the pristine surfaces, and the bids exploded. $5, $12, $50, and finally $103.74. A round of applause erupted online. People couldn't believe a modern penny had crossed the $100 mark. The hidden lesson behind the sale. This sale reminds us that value isn't always about age. Sometimes it's about rarity and condition. Tens of millions of 2008 pennies were made, but very few survived in perfect, untouched form. Most were scratched, spent, or corroded over time, but the few that were kept sealed, protected from air and moisture, those now shine as miniature treasures. It's a beautiful example of how preservation creates value. Something that seemed worthless just needed a careful eye and a bit of luck. A quick journey through penny. Let's rewind for a moment. Canada's 1-cent coin has a long story, dating back to 1858, when the first large pennies were struck in copper. Over the decades, designs changed, from Queen Victoria to George V, then to the maple leaf design introduced in 1937. The penny became a symbol of Canada's identity. The red copper glow, the sound of it clinking in pockets, the lucky penny superstition every kid knew. But in 2012, rising production costs ended its run. The penny was retired, leaving behind a wave of nostalgia. That's why coins from the final years, like 2008, carry emotional weight. They mark the end of an era. Why collectors chase these coins? So why do collectors care so much? Because every coin tells a story, not just of metal and minting, but of time and memory. When a coin like this appears, collectors see more than profit. They see connection, a link between past and present. Many started searching their own change jars after the auction. Social media groups filled with posts. I just found a 2008 penny. How do I check if it's valuable? The curiosity spread like wildfire. And that's exactly why you should never underestimate a coin, no matter how small. How to know if yours is worth anything. Here's what to look for if you think you've got a special one. Condition. If your 2008 penny still has that bright reddish shine with 0 scratches, keep it safe. Mint mark and die variety. Sometimes tiny differences near the date or lettering can create variety coins. Grading. Get your coin evaluated by a professional grading service like ICCS, Canadian Coin Certification Service, or PCGS Canada. Even a 1-point difference in grade can double the value. Storage. Never clean your coin. It can destroy value instantly. Use a soft plastic flip or capsule instead. Follow these and you might discover that your pocket change hides a surprise worth talking about. More auction buzz. After the $103.74 sale, whispers began. Other near-perfect 2008 pennies were being listed in small auctions in Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver. Collectors are now watching closely, hoping for the next breakout sale. If you plan to sell yours, comment below. Maybe someone from our Coin Spyder community will guide you toward the right auction house. You know, this story isn't just about money. It's about rediscovering wonder in everyday things. That small coin might remind you of your grandparents' change jar or your first allowance. It carries memories of simpler times, of Canada's past, of a queen whose portrait graced our pockets for decades. When collectors pay $103.74, they're also buying that feeling. So Coin Spyder family, tell me, do you have a 2008 Canadian penny lying somewhere in your house? Would you sell it for $103.74 or keep it as a piece of history? Drop your answer in the comments. I love reading every single one. And if this story inspired you, hit that like button, subscribe for more incredible coin mysteries, and share this video with your friends. Who knows? Maybe one of them has the next hidden treasure waiting to shine. Remember, every coin has a secret. Here on Coin Spyder, we uncover them together. Until next time, keep your eyes sharp, your hearts curious, and never stop searching. Because sometimes, even a penny can be priceless.